Right. Hello. Yes. Now, I've decided, because I've been watching quite a few videos on YouTube there, and I've kind of decided that I want to do a controversial video. And it's a little bit of an experiment just to see kind of like if I get any reaction. Probably not. Most of my videos, I don't get lots of views. But anyway, that's besides the point. Right. The thing that's getting me is, I know you got to take a lot of stuff that you see on there with a pinch of salt, and some of it's fake, and some of it's just hysteria, and maybe bonkers people, or whatever, do you know what I mean? But the thing is, what gets me is that there's so much stuff on there about the end of the world, and all these things have happened in 2013, and do you know what I mean, all these tornadoes and volcanoes and blah blah blah, this, that and the other's happened, and there's aliens in the sky, and do you know what I mean, and there's all this stuff and all these conspiracy theories about FEMA, and all the rest of it, do you know what I mean? Now, I don't know, whatever, maybe all that stuff's true, maybe it's all complete, I'm trying not to swear actually, I'm trying to mind my language, but complete rubbish at the end of the day, maybe, who knows, I don't know, but it just, it just really gets me sometimes, some of the stuff that comes out. Do you know what I mean? Some of these I know people are entitled to their views and their beliefs, and I have no problem with that necessarily, but it just really gets me sometimes when people start harping on about like, oh, you better start believing in God, people, because like, look, you can't, haven't you seen the signs, this volcano's gone off, that must mean that God's angry with us, and all this sort of thing, do you know what I mean? And I think to myself, do you know what? We don't live in biblical times anymore, do you know what I mean? Like, that's something like 2,000 years ago. I thought that the human race, I would like to think that the human race has kind of grown up a little bit since then. Okay, yeah, we're not, we're far from, the most adult and grown up race, perhaps, in the universe, who knows? But, I think we've kind of moved on slightly from those times, to be quite honest. And the thing is that, like, if I want a God that doesn't necessarily throw me cryptic messages, do you know what I mean? So a volcano blows up somewhere, or an earthquake happens, or a meteorite hits the earth, or whatever. I don't want cryptic clues. Do you know what I mean? Why can't you just speak sort of in a language and a way I can understand? Do you know what I mean? People are going to say, well, God doesn't work like that, and blah, 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 and all this lot. Well, he must like the crossword then, God, mustn't he? Because he obviously likes cryptic puzzles, doesn't he? You know what I mean? Because like, that's the way he speaks to us, apparently. Do you know what I mean? Load of dead fish in the river somewhere, and that's supposed to mean something. Do you know what I mean? It's like, huh? Well, how am I supposed to interpret that? Do you know what I mean? It just kicks my goat a little bit. Do you know what I mean? I want, if there's a God there, then I'd like him to speak in a format that I would understand. Do you know what I mean? In a way that I would understand. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm a human being, I'm not a God, and I'm not, what's the name? I've got a limited sort of, knowledge base, whatever. Do you know what I mean? I can't interpret a load of dead fish in the river as a sign from God telling me to do something. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, I had to have a little rant about this, because I've just been watching all these people going on about this sort of thing, and it just, like, I think to myself, what? Do you know what I mean? Oh, God. So, I'm sorry, but what is a load of dead fish in a river somewhere supposed to be telling me? Do you know what I mean? So he's a funny God then if he throws us really weird clues like that. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, as I say, I just thought I'd have a little rant and rave about it, because it just, it's like I say, I don't necessarily disbelieve in God. I believe that there's something. I don't know what it is. I don't subscribe to a particular version of it, you know what I mean, whether it's Christian or any other version of what God is or isn't, sort of thing. But like I say, do you know what I mean? I'd rather have one that speaks me in plain language, in an understandable way. Do you know what I mean? If there's something going on, or if he's peed off with us, or peed off with me personally in my life, then speak to me in a plain way that I can understand, not bloody volcanoes going off somewhere, or or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I mean, how's that helped me to understand? You know, and then of course, like I say, then you get people that interpret this by their own views. Do you know what I mean? And by their own experiences, which is all well and good. Do you know what I mean? If that's the way they want to interpret it, it's fine. Do you know what I mean? But then don't try to impose that on me. Do you know what I mean? Don't tell me that volcano's gone off because God's angry and wants me to change my life. Do you know what I mean? That's your interpretation, my friend, not mine. Do you know what I mean? You know, just I don't know. Like I say, I think this is supposed to be the 21st century, isn't it? Not the Middle Ages. You know, I think we're a little bit more sophisticated than that these days. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it doesn't mean to say that we don't have to believe in God or say that there isn't one. Do you know what I mean? I think that's a little bit arrogant of us to say that anyway, to be quite honest, even with our technological advances and our science and what have you. I mean, I love science, and I think science is great, but I think there's also a place for our spiritual needs as well. Absolutely. Human beings are not just one-dimensional creatures, you know what I mean? We need a broad spectrum of things in our lives to fulfill us, and anyway, like I say, it gets my goat a little bit, to be quite honest, when people come onto YouTube and interpret all these things that happen around the world and then try to convince me that I need to believe in God, or I need to change my life, or whatever, before the end happens. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's supposed to have been the end of the world since Jesus was around. Do you know what I mean? And it's true. You can read that. That even says it. It even says it in the Bible. At end of days, when Jesus was around. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, God, blimey, this is taking a long time to end, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I mean, flipping heck. You know, why can't we just get on and finish it then? Do you know? Oh, no, I don't really mean that. But I mean, it just gets my goat. Do you know what I mean? It just really grinds my gears as oh God, I can't think of his name now, and I watch it all the time and all. What is his name? Oh God, blimey! Oh, never mind. It's not really important. But yeah, that really grinds my gears. I think I'll start a little program. What really grinds my gears? Anyway, sorry, I'm just messing. But I don't know. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Thanks for listening. If anybody does, that is.